it's Brooke with the Buttered Home. Welcome to Messy Kitchen Monday. We are so glad you are with us tonight as we continue our series on tailgate. Cannot talk. Tailgate. Now I'm gonna be tickled for like 10 minutes. Tailgate treats.
Say that 5 times.
Oh, really? I know. You'll have to forgive me if I'm clearing my throat and stuff. I'm getting over a little cold, and that is also responsible for the reason why I cannot talk, obviously, because I'm still in a fog. No matter, we are glad you're joining us again here on Monday night for this fun segment. We've had a lot of fun so far this month, sharing with you some really, really good tailgate recipes. Now, with that being said, what we're doing tonight is a classic recipe. It's a classic tailgate recipe. It's been around for a long time. A lot of you probably already have it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the secret ingredient to this recipe with things in your own spice cabinet. Now, if you'll remember, about a month or so ago, I told you guys that I was going to show you or tell you how to make your own ranch seasoning. Well, here we are. That's tonight. So, while the recipe in its entirety is our kickoff star, the real gem in all of this is going to be for how you can go to your spice cabinet, open it up, and figure out that you have pretty much the main components to make your own ranch seasoning. Now, the star of our show tonight is going to be buffalo chicken dip. Now, this is one of those recipes that is a hit at no matter what tailgate, what party you go to. But the real fun thing about this is that, well, it's not fun, but whenever you want to make it, sure, you've got cheese, you've got cream cheese, you've got chicken, but you don't have one of those ranch packets. How many times has that happened to you when you needed one of those ranch packets and you didn't have it? Well, most times, if you're like me, you just give up and do something else, right? Well, I'm going to show you tonight how you don't have to do that. How 9 times out of 10, you've probably got 75% of what you need to have all those wonderful ranch flavors in your spice cabinet already. Now, this will not be the buttermilk ranch dressing because we're not putting dried milk, we're not putting powdered buttermilk in it or anything like that. We don't need to because our dairy is the best dairy. And the buttermilk component is really if you are making a dressing with just a mayonnaise base or sour cream. And everybody knows while sour cream is wonderful, it doesn't have a lot of flavor. So the buttermilk or the dried milk component to any ranch packet is one of the flavor components that's also in there. So for just basic ranch needs, all you need is the green stuff. So I'm going to show you how to make your own green stuff while showing you a great recipe for buffalo chicken dip too. And I like to use it in the crock pot. And the reason why is because when I am prepping for tailgate, yes, even though it's usually on my couch, I don't need to be bothered with standing over the stove or setting a timer for the oven. So I can use my handy dandy crock pot, put all the recipe in there and set it for like an hour or two, and then it's done. It's right ready. Then I can put it on warm and I don't have to think a thing about it until I'm ready to eat it. So that is why I like using my crock pot. So that's another star of this recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you the meat and potatoes of why we're here. And that is how to make your own ranch flavor seasoning. And this will also be in the recipe on the website at thebutteredhome.com. So never fear, if I don't give you the exact measurements, you can head over to the website later in the week and get it for yourself and print it. So for the components of the ranch, they're simple. is parsley, onion powder, garlic powder, dill, dried chives, salt and pepper. That's it. That's it. Now if you're all fancy and you have the powdered buttermilk or the powdered milk, you can add a little bit of that in there too. But for this recipe and most general applications, those are the things that you need. And those are all general spices. So the great thing about it is that you know, because you'll be able to get it at thebutteredhome.com, exactly the amounts of those things that give you that punch of ranch flavor that you would ordinarily get in that packet. So, without further ado, we're gonna mix that up. So we're gonna start with some dried parsley. And the great thing about this is I go through spices a lot. So I go to the dollar store to buy my spices, or either I buy the store brand, which are less than $1.50 a bottle. So you can mix up this ranch mixture and have it on hand, just like we did with the homemade taco seasoning that we do, and have it whenever you need it. And you didn't spend a ton on the spices, and you can use what's left of the spices for other things too. Chances are you've already got them, so why not use them and have your own little zippy zip ranch dressing, and you can tell people that it's from scratch, because it is. So we've got the parsley, and then now we're going to add in the dill. And now the thing about dried spices have a lot more flavor than fresh herbs. So make sure, if you're following a recipe, any recipe where you have to come up with a spice blend, that you pay special attention to the fact whether they're dried or they're fresh, because the amounts that you use for that recipe, it's going to make a difference, and it can kind of make some things offensive if you use too much dried rosemary versus too much fresh. All right, the next thing we have is garlic powder. And if you have any questions, you feel free to pop them in the comments. If you're on Facebook, we'll get back with you either while we're live or after the live is done. And if you are on Instagram, I can direct message you after we're done as well. All right, then we have onion powder. And if anybody locally needs onion powder, I have enough for probably the next 15 years. So feel free to come borrow a whole bottle, and you don't have to give it back. I was really waiting on a comment about the dried rosemary versus the fresh rosemary from the buttered recliner in there, because rosemary is not his favorite spice.
Leave it out.
Leave it out completely. That is Big D's recommendation. All right, and now I have dried chives. Now, dried chives may not be something that you have in your cabinet, and that's okay. Leave it out if it's not. You're still going to get the main components of the flavor from your dill and your garlic and your onion. But the chives add like a nice little punch, so I put them in there. And a little bit of texture too. And then we have salt. And y'all know I love using coarse sea salt. And freshly ground pepper. And then we're just going to mix that up. And I'm sorry, but that is ranch right there. That is, aside from not having the powdered milk in there, that is all the components. And if you smell it, you'll smell it. I'm going to let my lovely assistant smell it. What is this?
Smells like ranch.
Smells like ranch. So that is our ranch mixture. What I don't just throw all over the counter like party favors here. All right, so now for the recipe, we have some room temperature cheddar cheese, and some room temperature next to butter, what makes everything better? Cream cheese. And we're going to add those in together. And then I'm going to cream it just a little bit. Not as much as I thought. And then this to me is the best hot sauce ever. Crystal hot sauce. It is not too hot. It's not too mild. So don't worry if you don't have Crystal where you are. There'll be a link in the recipe where you can get it for yourself. So we're going to add in that Crystal hot sauce that I already have measured. And I'm trying to clean up as I go. It may or may not work now that I just knocked everything over. And I'm going to get a spoon to make this a little easier because my spatula is not cooperating for some reason. Probably because I'm live. All right, so we've got the hot sauce. We've got the cheese. And we've got the cream cheese, and we're all just going to kind of cream that together. Until it's nice and combined. And the great thing about this is having the hot sauce along with the cream cheese and the cheese is that kind of cuts the hot of the hot sauce. So you get the spice, but not the heat. Oh gosh, sorry about that, guys. All right, and then we're gonna add in a little more garlic to that. And then I have some shredded baked chicken here. And it's gonna go all in as well. And we're just gonna mix that up. I'm gonna make sure I didn't forget anything. And then our homemade ranch. Because we're not going to use all of it. And mix that up. Now you can certainly use store-bought ranch packets. I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with that at all. But if you, like me, are the queen of preparedness, then you may not have it. So that's why I wanted to share with you how to make it at home, because you have the option of having it there. And instead of just kind of abandoning your idea of what you wanted to make for the tailgate, you don't have to. You can usually go to your cabinet and get everything you need out. So this will go into a well-greased crock pot. And then we will cook it on low for 1 to 2 hours, just until it's bubbly and kind of crispy on the top. And you can sprinkle some more cheese up there too if you need to. Certainly don't have to, because there's plenty in here. But the real star of the show tonight is this homemade ranch seasoning that you can make anytime for any recipe. We hope that you will take this and make it your own, add, take away whatever you need to do for it. But the ranch, just to show you, from the buttered home to your home, you can make ranch and you can make it your own as well too. You're not confined to buying it in a bottle or buying it in a packet. You can totally make it on your own. So we are going to not keep you any longer, because this is a slow cook recipe, and since I've been under the weather, I was ill prepared and did not make any ahead of time. Tanner's laughing, but you know, at least I'm truthful. So just trust me when I tell you it's cheesy, it's wonderful, and you can see all that on the recipe because we have some really beautiful pictures of it. And then you can make it for yourself and then go and grab this recipe later in the week. Be sure, if you're a first time with us tonight, that you drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We hope that you'll come back. Next Monday is it. It's our last tailgating recipe. But y'all, can I just tell you how much fun we're gonna have in October? I tell you what, October, November, and December are gonna be filled with so much good stuff. I can't hardly contain myself. I want to go ahead and leak some of the recipes now, but I know I can't. So just trust me when I tell you, if you'll be watching posts, you might get some sneak peeks of some stuff that we've got going on coming up in the next few months and to finish out 2019 with a bang here at the Buttered Home. So be sure and join us for our last tailgate recipe next Monday night on the 30th at 7:30, because it is one you will not want to miss. It's one of the best dips I've ever had, and it's so easy. And I'm going to show you how to make it so easy. So from the Buttered Home to your home, we thank y'all for joining us. We'll see you next Monday night. Bye-bye.